gorgeous humans. I am coming live for day 48, and today, actually, I just want to start off by saying how is everybody feeling, because the new moon has been in Cancer, which on Monday I was feeling super emotional, and I only just realised yesterday it was because the full moon was in Cancer, which means that people will feel more emotional than usual. So I just wondered if it had affected anybody else in that way as well. I also have lots of wacky dreams when it's the full moon as well. So yeah, so I just wanted to know how everybody was doing with that and whether they've been feeling a bit emotional as well. But today I wanted to talk about growth mindset in wealth. So I've got four, if I can count, I've got four things that I want to talk about. Okay, so the first thing for growing your wealth mindset is to realise that people pay you for the value you create. Now, kind of from being young, we're conditioned that we get a job after school, we work so many hours, and then those hours will be paid by an hourly rate or a particular salary. So we learn that we trade time for money. But when you're doing a wealth growth mindset, which is not easy to say, you need to realise that people will pay you based on the value you create and not how many hours it takes. I'm going to give you an example of a locksmith. Okay, he's just starting out his business. So these people are locked out, they need a locksmith. He comes, it takes him 2 hours to take the lock off, and then he says, that's £250 please. And the people are so grateful, they're like, oh my gosh, that's such incredible value, here's £250, amazing. So this locksmith continues to do this, and 2 years down the line, he's really quick at doing locks now. So we have a similar scenario where some people are locked out. He comes, he gets the lock undone in 20 minutes, and he says, that's £250. And people will say, you were only here 20 minutes. You were only here 20 minutes. How come it's £250? But in actual fact, the locksmith has done the exact same thing, and he's created the same scenario for both sets of people. But because we perceive time is money, we almost like devalue what we've got. So those people, because it only took him 20 minutes, we're thinking, well, that was really quick, so that it's unjustified to charge that much. Just because we're conditioned that way to think. But if we think more in terms of the value we give or the value we get, then that is more of a growth mindset. Because the outcome for both sets of people were that they were able to get into the house. So the value is exactly the same, but he just shortened the time in which he could make that money. And that's where we want to be aiming. We want to be doing a fantastic job, but doing it much quicker, so that rather than we're being paid for our time, we actually look at it in terms of what value have I created for somebody else. And if you give someone life-changing advice or coaching, and they get it within an hour, for them, the transformation is so huge that why shouldn't you be paid a good amount for the life-transforming information? I hope you can get what I'm saying. It's just to change your mindset from time is money to value is money, no matter the length of time it takes. People are probably familiar with it with plumbers. Plumbers come in and they'll do what seems to be a tiny little job that takes 10 minutes, and then you get charged a good price for it. But it's actually the value. If it's fixed, and that's it. Okay, so the next one is to realise that selling is just a human thing. What I mean by that is we have preconceived ideas in our head about what it means to be something. So if I said to you the word salesman, what's coming into your head straight away will probably be something like car salesman, you know, giving you the talk and trying to almost like trick you, or someone who has created a lot of money and they're a billionaire. Your first thought might be, oh, that's greedy, that's bad to do that. You know, they've probably sold their own grandma to become a billionaire. And again, it's conditioning from when we're young. Because if you think of it, like in all the Disney films, it's always the evil ones, always the rich ones. So psychologically that starts to go in, and we start to say, rich people are bad. Rich people are getting their money by, you know, bad means. And it's conditioning. You don't realise it's happening, but it's conditioning that goes in. And it could be things that you've heard growing up as well, like people around you, your parents, your friends, people who are related to you might say things like money doesn't grow on trees and that kind of thing. And then you get conditioned to think that it's something that eludes you. And you've got to change that mindset and say, selling isn't evil. You know, selling isn't bad. Selling is offering a service. So you've got to switch it in your mind and start to realise that selling is just a human thing. If you look around you everywhere, everything is being sold, and you don't want to attach any kind of negative feeling to that. It's like a means to an end, isn't it, selling? So try and look at it as more of it's a natural human thing to sell, and there's nothing bad about being a salesperson, even though that word seems quite tainted now because you think of people trying to trick you, etc. So that's the next mindset to shift. The next one is, the more I earn, the more I can serve. Again, we're going back to that old story that we're told time and time again, that, you know, in the films, it's always the rich people who have everything, who are super greedy and they never give it out to anybody. And it's the poor ones who are virtuous and kind and caring, and that's a better thing to be in life because it's more virtuous. So if you're poorer, that's better. But to be honest, when you're poor, all you can give is like your kindness and your time, which is very, very valuable. But you can also give your time and your kindness when you're rich as well. But you can also give money to charity. You can invest in people's startup businesses. You could help family and friends so that they get somewhere in life. And not only that, when you start to do that and you have money but you're kind and giving and generous, it starts to create a new paradigm of people will see that and realise that's possible for them too. So not only can you help in a monetary sense, but you're also helping in a mindset sense as well, because you're growing their mind to the fact that if you've done that and you're this lovely human being, then they can do that as well, and it's not tainted. So you're a good example as well of how to be and how a rich person can be, and you can help. So who wouldn't want to be that? And the last one is, I take full ownership over my money. So again, from being young, we outsource money to someone else. When we're growing up, obviously we don't have our own money, so it's outsourced to our parents to get us everything and to keep us comfortable. And then if you're anything like me, I got into a relationship as soon as I'd left school. So kind of like, this is how I used to be. Because my dad worked and my mum looked after the children, I was conditioned to think that that's the role of the man. The man goes out to work and he kind of like looks after his wife and children. I'm not like that at all now, but that's how I used to be when we first got together. But actually, hi Russell. But actually, you need to be responsible for your own money. And like I say, we're used to outsourcing that responsibility to someone else. But if you look at responsible, it's response able. So you need to be able to respond to your own money separately. So a good thing to do is to educate yourself about money, to learn good money management, and to learn to invest wisely. So I'm of a completely different mindset now, whereas before I thought the man looks after the woman. I worked on my money mindset hugely, and now I want to take care of my husband. You know, I want him to work less or not at all. I want to be the provider, you know, I want to be the role model for my children. And if my husband wants to do that as well, that's fair enough, but I don't expect that of him. If I want things for us as a family, I just know it falls on my shoulders to do that, because I don't want to put the keys to my life in someone else's pocket, you know. I want to drive my own destiny car. So now I educated myself about money. I went on money courses. I learned how to manage money better. And I also invest now. I invest with Hargreaves and Lansdowne in stocks and shares. And that's fantastic because for each share that I buy twice a year, I get paid a dividend on it. And not only that, when the value of the shares go up, that increases my money as well. So that for me is a long-term investment. I'm talking sort of 20, 25 years. So 25 years from now, I'll have a good amount of money that I can help my children with, or, you know, do whatever I need to do with that. So I'm thinking of the future and I'm investing for the future, which is what you need to do. Because if you think of it like this, money's paper and it's useless. If it's sat in your purse or it's sat in a bank getting very, very minimal growth, I mean it's something like 0.1% interest on money that's sat in a bank. Money in your purse, money in the house, money in a bank is useless unless it is put to good use. So money will only make more money when it's put somewhere in the right place. And what I like to do as well, this might not work for everybody, but what I like to do is when money comes in, I like to put it straight into an investment pot. So I'm left with really minimal in my bank, because I used to be an overspender. So I leave a very minimal amount in my bank. And then when I log on and see my bank account number, I think, right, I need to work hard. And it just keeps you in that let's go kind of frame of mind. Because if the money was sat in your bank, you might think, oh, I'm really comfortable now, so I don't have to do anything. But if you keep minimal in that main bank, you kind of always keep that motivation to keep building and building. So I hope that's been useful, and yeah, that's all I have for today. So I hope that you can take some of these things and put them into practice in your own life. It takes a while to learn kind of like money management, but these are some great sort of springboards to making that start. So I hope it's been helpful. I love you all so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.